What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin, and yesterday we got some really exciting news. One of our top pitching prospects in all of the Red Sox organization requested to come back and resume his career with this Red Sox team. And what do I mean by that? Well, the prospect I'm talking about is Noah Song. Now, Noah Song, for those of you who don't know, spent the last 2 years serving our country in the Navy. Yesterday, he requested a work waiver that would grant him the ability to return to his career with the Red Sox. This has everyone very excited, not only because he's one of our top prospects, but because a lot of people think that he will fast track himself into this MLB and end up being our closer. In fact, I saw a lot of tweets about how he could possibly be our closer by the end of June. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about who Noah Song is, how he plays, and if it could be a possibility to have him take over this closer role for the Red Sox fairly quickly here and become a staple in this bullpen in 2022. But before I get into that, do me a favor, if you haven't already, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure that you guys are hitting the like button on these videos as well. It helps out the channel a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. So who is Noah Song? Well, Noah Song was drafted in 2019 out of the Naval Academy. Now, one of his big personality things that come through in a lot of scouts' minds and a lot of analysts' minds is how hardworking he is. He's one of the hardest workers in the Red Sox organization. That's a great skill to have. On top of that, he's a great person and personality. I mean, the dude served our country before coming and playing baseball, so that's a really cool thing to see. But besides who he is as a person, he is also a phenomenal baseball player. He hasn't had a ton of time in the majors, but his last year of college, he had a slash line, a 1.44 ERA, a whip of .92, and 161 strikeouts in 94 innings. He also did manage to play some time in the minors before COVID ruined 2020. So in 2019, he played for our single A affiliate where he had an ERA of 1.06, a whip of .88, and 19 strikeouts over 17 innings. Now, it's not a huge sample size, but that is, again, another very low slash line. And the last thing he did before COVID ruined his season and before he had to serve his time for the military was he played for the United States baseball team in the Olympics. He didn't get a ton of appearances there, but coaches and staff and players alike really loved what Noah Song could do and loved putting him into late games. During that time with Team USA, he had a 0.00 ERA with a .56 whip and 6 Ks over 5 innings. Again, not a huge sample size, but it's pretty obvious that this guy can pitch. His pitch arsenal includes a fastball, a slider, a changeup, and occasionally a curveball, but I'm not going to include the curveball because he doesn't use it a ton and it's not a great pitch. His fastball is his bread and butter with speeds up to 99 miles an hour, which is impressive on its own. He also has very good control, which is rare for guys who can throw that hard. This is, again, his bread and butter, how he makes his money. On top of that, he adds a slider and a changeup. The changeup is definitely the better pitch out of the two, mostly because the arm slot is pretty similar to his fastball, which means that it's very hard for hitters to pick up on the fact that it is 10 to 15 miles an hour slower than his fastball and gets a lot of swings and misses on. His slider definitely needs some work. He tends to get on the side of the baseball, which leaves it pretty flat in the zone. But in total, that fastball and changeup combination make him a pretty deadly relief pitcher. But the question with Noah Song, and the question everyone wants answered, is whether or not he will make an impact on this team in 2022. It's no secret that the Red Sox are in desperate need of a closer, or at the very least another high leverage guy that they feel extremely comfortable putting into late game situations. A lot of people online, a lot of analysts think that this could possibly be Noah Song, and it's for good reason. We talked about how good he's been in the past, and on top of that, in 3 years he's gotten 3 years older, which means he's more mature, he's grown, he's gotten stronger. He could be an even better pitcher when he comes back, which could be exactly what the Red Sox have been looking for, that kind of big break. We haven't had that sort of big break this season. It seems like everything and anything that could go wrong is going wrong for the Red Sox, so maybe this is the sign of times to come. However, there are a lot of big ifs with Noah Song, and the first if is whether or not he actually gets approved for this work waiver. There's a chance that it doesn't get approved and Noah Song doesn't get the opportunity to come back and pitch for this Red Sox organization. We could be going through this. I could make a whole video and he could not even end up pitching for the Boston Red Sox. The other if I want to talk about is this guy has had 3 years off. One of them was for COVID, which he was probably pitching through anyways, but the other 2, he was serving his country in the Navy. But he probably had a lot more important things to worry about than being able to throw a ball really hard into a strike zone, because at the end of the day, this is a game and that is real life. So he could come back and not be the same pitcher that he was. There is definitely that very real possibility that he comes back and just simply does not have it anymore. 3 years is a very long time to go without being in an in-game situation. So in my opinion, is it realistic that Noah Song comes in, lights the world on fire, and is up here shutting down big leaguers in June? Probably not. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I do not think that this is totally the answer to the Red Sox problems. I do think he's going to come back and be a very good pitcher, but even if it's best case scenario, I see him coming up in middle August, maybe early July. They'll probably start him in AA to see kind of where he's at and go from there. So I don't think that this is the answer to the Red Sox closer problem. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of Noah Song as a prospect, as a person. Do you think he's the answer to this bullpen? And when do you see him coming up to the Red Sox to try and make a difference, if at all? Let me know all your thoughts down below. As always, if you've made it to the end of this video, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button. Like I said, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys are hitting that like button as well. If you are newly subscribed or currently subscribed, it's the best way to help this channel out, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the next one.